Hello, my name is Father Jim McGuinn and welcome to the Malvern Retreat House. This is a different type of video than what we usually do. It's going to be kind of an introductory video to how to meditate. Listen, as you know, there is a lot of noise out there. There's just more and more information coming at us. And the news sometimes is overwhelming. And we have to be careful because we kind of get sucked into that. And we're just overloading ourselves with a lot of information. I suspect what we need is silence. Just more silence. Silence. We need less information. You know, sometimes less is more. And I think that's where our spirits are leading us during, this third or fourth week of the crisis from the coronavirus. Like I said, this is going to be an introduction to how we can meditate. And let's just talk a little bit about meditation or guided meditation. I remember I grew up in Northeast Philadelphia, and I was one of 5 children. My mom and dad had a bike with the training wheels, and we all learned how to ride a bike with the training wheels at Lowell School. It was the public school at 5th and Nedrow. So I don't know if I was in 1st grade or 2nd grade or something, but I remember my dad saying to me, "Jimmy, it's time that you learn how to ride a bike without the training wheels." And I said, "Fine." So we went over. And it was a huge playground, all asphalt. It was in Philadelphia. And I remember my dad running around the playground holding the back of the bike, for what seemed like forever. And then all of a sudden, he'd let it go a little bit and I would wobble. And then he'd come up and grab the back of the seat and we'd go a little further. And he would let me go and I would wobble on the bike, but I got a little further. And then he would come up and grab it. And, this went on, I don't know, half hour maybe. But at a certain point, I remember my dad just letting me go, and I had enough speed built up. And then all of a sudden, I found out that I was riding the bike by myself. And it was just so natural. It took a while to get there, but after a while, it was like, oh, this is what it means to ride a bike without training wheels. It's very natural. I think prayer is natural. It's what our spirits want to do. We're wired to pray. And there are lots of different ways that we can pray. The rosary, or morning prayer and evening prayer, or the chaplet of divine mercy. Another way that's part of our tradition is meditating, where we learn to quiet our minds and simply be aware of the presence of God. So this is a very natural way of praying, and I think is probably what we need to do, especially now with all the noise out there. What I want to do is just explain briefly how to meditate. I'm just going to go through 5 different steps that are kind of steps of preparation for praying, and then we'll talk a little bit how we actually meditate. And then we're going to have a follow-up video to this, which is a 20-minute meditation. It's a 20-minute guided meditation. So, when you pray, this is what's going to be super important. It's important to go to a same place, same time. That's very, very important for daily personal prayer. So, same time, same place. Go to a place that's prayerful for you. Now, you're going to have to probably get away from people. You're going to have to turn off the TV. But find a sacred place for you. That's super, super important. And the first step that I'm going to be leading you through is just to sit comfortably in a quiet place. And I'm going to repeat that several times. Sit comfortably in a quiet place. Next, step number 2. It's going to be close your eyes and begin to relax. And I'll say that several times. Close your eyes. Just begin to relax. Settle into a chair that you find comfortable. Step number 3. I'm just going to ask you to breathe deeply and to breathe slowly. Breathing intentionally helps us to quiet ourselves down and also to deal with distractions. So that's going to be step number 3. Number 4, I'm going to ask everybody to be at peace and let go of distracting thoughts. Be at peace and let go of distracting thoughts. Be at peace, let go of distracting thoughts. And then the 5th step in our preparation for prayer is going to be still within and be in the presence of God. Be still within and be in the presence of God. So that will probably take about 10 minutes. It helps us to get ready for our time of meditation. And then I will lead everybody through about 10 minutes of a guided meditation. During that time, I'm just going to ask you to repeat silently just the names of God. Just say Father, and you can say that several times. Okay? Jesus, you can just say that several times. And then Spirit, and you just say that several times. And then you can go back and just repeat the names of God. Father, Jesus, Spirit. And that helps us to be focused, and it kind of helps our minds from wandering, which is always a challenge whenever we try to pray. One of the most beautiful places here on our campus at the Malvern Retreat House is what we call the Grotto. And there's a statue of Mary, there's a stream running nearby, it's down in a little bit of a glen, and it really is a very beautiful, a very prayerful, really a very holy place. So when I actually have or begin to lead the guided meditation, the picture of the grotto is going to come up on your screen. And it will just remind you of the beauty of nature. And we'll have some instrumental music with nature sounds playing in the background. And I'll just lead you through those 5 steps that I just went over quickly. You can use this guided meditation anytime you want. It's going to take about 20 minutes. Just find a place to pray and use it several times throughout the day. If you find it helpful, share it with other people, and that would be wonderful. Okay, thanks so much, everyone.